Good afternoon. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Tuesday. We're coming to you live from Eugene and Springfield, Oregon. Eugene used to be the home of hippies and nonconformists, but has become lately a community of conformity. And I have a couple of questions that somebody popped something up on my Facebook page today, and he's rather a progressive friend of mine. I would say that he is more on the liberal point of view, and not to be judgmental, but just to say. And it was interesting because this young man was putting up a poster. He was mad. So one of the questions here's the question he put out there. So the governor of Oregon now says, starting tomorrow, no meetings at homes or anywhere of over 10 people. Because they find that that's where the COVID seems to be spreading in small groups of people, of families and stuff like that. But this young man who put this on my page brings up a great point. Why are you limiting family get-togethers or people have to be 10 or less, or fewer would be the proper term, and yet you're allowing protests of hundreds or thousands of people? Now, Governor Brown, that's what we would call an inconsistency. And if you're a parent, which I know you're not, but if you were a parent, you would understand that when you are inconsistent, you lose things. You lose people's attention. If I raise my children with that kind of inconsistency, they're not going to listen. They're not going to do what I ask them to do. And that is you're not going to bring people in. And we are also incredibly racist too. Lindsay, these are two separate issues. For me, maybe they're not for you, but they are for me. I agree with not everything Black Lives Matters is going after, but I do believe in equality and that people should be treated equally. And I believe that people should be allowed to protest. But if we have a virus that is this dangerous, why are you allowing people to, that's putting all of us at risk, I would guess. If my family meeting 10 or 12 people puts me at risk, and my neighbors, and then I'm supposed to be watching out for other people, how is that not the same thing? Because it is. And so you're putting not only those protesters at risk, but you're putting anyone else they come into contact with at risk. And that's just inconsistent. And it's not going to get people to buy into this. And that's the thing that bothers me the most, is when you're inconsistent, then people find loopholes, they find holes in it, and they're going to say, wait a minute, you can't do that. So we need to have this. If we're going to do over 10, we need to make that so it's over 10 for all people. If this really is a huge health pandemic where our culture, where people are, we're putting people at risk. So by allowing the protests, we need to allow, this is not about shutting up people with Black Lives Matters. That's not. So don't anybody twist that into that. That is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, there's two separate issues here. If we have a pandemic and we are endangering the lives of people by allowing more than 10 people to meet in a group, then by allowing hundreds and or thousands to do it is exponentially bigger of a problem and just asking for trouble. So how am I supposed to take that seriously when you're asking me to do it for 10 or fewer and you're saying it, but it's okay because is the virus issue oriented? Or does it go to anybody that it wants? And I think it does. So we're putting those people at risk as well. And the same people in the nursing homes, the same people working for people. So again, do not twist this in to, I am saying Black Lives Matter should not be allowed to protest. I'm saying if we have a pandemic and we are restricting people's movement, which apparently that's what the governor thinks we should do, then we need to do that in a consistent manner. So, because otherwise, I don't believe it's a public health problem, because you're picking and choosing what groups can meet over 10. And that is inconsistent. My other thing I wanted to talk about, a couple of guys were at the gym today, or outside of Full City, which is now Palace Coffee Shop. And we were talking about something. And the guy says, do you remember, Rick, when like a year ago, the big hashtag was #resist? And I said, yeah. And he goes, now it would be #conform. I mean, it's true. It's like it used to be everything was resist. When I grew up in the 60s, the bumper sticker, and when I came to Eugene, when I first came here, this was a non-conformity area. People did not want to conform. They didn't want you to tell them what to do. They wanted to be their own person. Now we've become a community, a state of conformity. People used to come to Oregon to get away from authority and rules. And now we've become the people who are, no, you have to do what they tell you. You have to do what they're telling you to do. So we used to attract nonconformists. Now we have become conformists. So the hashtag resist now becomes hashtag conform. And the other one was the bumper sticker that used to say, don't trust authority. That was like when I first moved to Eugene, I loved, you had old Vogels. They had don't trust authority, don't to kill your TV, don't listen to the media. Now it's watch TV to get all your information. It would be do what they tell you to do. Don't be a nonconformist because that means you're trying to kill people. I mean, it's become completely irrational. And I'm not even pulling up things on here. This is not about wearing masks. It's not about any of that. Everybody likes to take it and go, follow the science. Okay, but you're getting off point. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying the science is bad. I don't know. I did call the health department today, though, because I do have a question. And they're looking into it for me. I do want to know how many people are asymptomatic. Of all these new tests we're doing, we say, here's all these people, and we're making decisions based off of those tests, those numbers. How many of those people are actually getting sick, and how many aren't getting sick? And I think it's a number that has to be out there. But I can't find it. Nobody can seem to tell me. I just get answers. This is the first time I've called. I found somebody I can contact. And so they're going to try to look into that for me. But that's what I'm looking for. So again, my comments today are not about the data. It's not about whether COVID is dangerous or not. I think we know that it is. But if it is dangerous and dangerous enough that people should not be gathering 10 or more, then that means people should not be gathering 10 or more. Not some people. I didn't hear that it was just certain people were supposed to, but it's just there seems to be a certain standard for this. And if it truly is a pandemic, and we need to be concerned about it, which from what I'm reading, it seems like it is, but it makes people question and it makes them wonder when 10 plus, if it's your family. But if you're doing any kind of a protest and we're still endangering, isn't that still endangering people? I mean, even on a bigger scale, it seems to be. Anyway, those are my questions today. And I don't expect any answers. I'm not expecting anything. I could bring up one more, but it'll just get nasty. But anyway, what sparked this was my friend who posted something on my Facebook page asking the same question. And he is a progressive liberal dude. And he came on and said, F you, Governor, if you're requiring 10 or less of us for other people, and then you're still allowing protests. And this guy, I was stunned because I've heard people say that. I've thought that. But it's hard to say because then a bunch of people, I'm not even reading comments on here, because then a bunch of people will try to steer the conversation. This is what we do in our culture. We steer the conversation in the direction we want to take it rather than listening to what I'm saying. I'm not saying Black lives don't matter. I would never say that. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be allowed to protest, but during a pandemic, if you're going to stop people from gathering in groups of 10 or more, then you need to stop people from gathering in groups of 10 or more. All people. If it is this serious and we are facing shutting down businesses, then what the hell are you doing only picking one group of people? A rule that applies to some should apply to everybody. And because otherwise you're putting all of us at risk. And so I don't understand that. It's hypocritical and it's highly inconsistent. And if we truly, the thing that bothers me the most about it is if you really want people to buy this, Governor Brown, this message that you're trying to get people to do, you haven't been a parent, I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure. I know Kate pretty well. You can't do that. You can't. I mean, you're not going to get buy-in, and maybe you don't want it. I don't know. Nicole, no, it's not that I don't want to listen to anyone else. I have a train of thought, and I'm trying to go through here and hear this. Because discrepancies in civil rights is also killing people. And that's something we need to take care of. And don't twist my words, Nicole, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if we have a pandemic and we have a virus that is attacking and killing people, then we need to, and we're taking special action in our culture right now to protect people so that we're not spreading this. Then how does it make sense that most people, groups of 10 or more, but we're still allowing protests because we're endangering those protesters? Plus, they can get the same thing we get. And that's my concern. It's not about civil rights. The protests are, I understand that, and I do support civil rights. But if we have a pandemic and you're endangering people, then they're going to endanger people. I like talking to you. The rates have not gone up in areas. How do they know that? You know, I'm serious. I mean, you can't tell me that many people are getting together and doing this. And honestly, what I would do if I was protesting, are you going to, do I say that's not as, what is that, Paul? I'm not sure what that goes to. Okay, I am trying to get to some comments here because the test could be from having cold or flu shots because everybody gets off here. Rick, I have the exact same feeling and thoughts you were having about this. Okay, so Dave Villanuevos, you're reading comments now. You're being inconsistent, bro. I'm trying to get to Dave. Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to get in here and do. Now that I've had my say, I'm trying to get you guys in here. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. She only isn't closing churches because she is being sued. Thank God for something like that. If I was in a church, I don't go to church. I believe in God, but I don't go to church. I wouldn't be going to church right now. And I went down to one of the protests and I stayed 3 blocks away because it's like, you know, I'll go to my gym, I'll go to places like that, but I'm not going to get around a bunch of people I don't know like that. Union County, the church was responsible for one of the biggest outbreaks in Oregon. And that's a tragedy. That is. I agree with you, Travis. That's true. Thank you, Rick. Totally agree with everything you're saying. It doesn't matter if you agree. It's spreading in social gatherings, parties, and churches. And I've got to call in to the county health department because I want to know how they asked that. If it's spreading in those kind of groups, Nicole, I mean, honestly, it has to be spreading amongst protesters. Maybe people aren't telling them. I don't know. I wouldn't tell people where I'm going. This should also play at grocery stores and other essential jobs. In terms of what, Brandy? I think because people are supposed to wear masks when they go anywhere, in public or out of public. I've been asking the same question since the protest started. A lot of people have, Gloria, but there's a real effort to try to make it sound like you're a racist if you're asking a question about protecting our culture and people. Look at protests. They are all wearing masks. No, they're actually not. You go look on my Facebook page and see the article that Josh Kendall posted on my page. And you see the picture and they're not. And I've been down there and they're not all wearing masks. And even that, you still got a lot of different people together. So either it's dangerous or it's not dangerous. But if it's dangerous for 10 people or more in my house, it's going to be just as dangerous for a bunch of people outside in a protest, I think. The longer you throw your tantrums about masks and distancing, the longer it's going to. Sandy, no one's talking about masks at all. I got a mask. I'm wearing it when I'm supposed to, what the governor tells me. It's not about the fucking mask. Oh, God. But see, everybody has to bring up something else. I never said one damn word about a mask, did I? Did I say anything about a mask? No. Oh, God. But now you're trying to throw me under a bus for a mask. It's so stupid. I am a mask person now. I have a mask. Oh, God. That says nothing about what we're talking about. Funny how the virus can choose what kind of gatherings it spreads to. Exactly, Jennifer. I guess if you're protesting, it doesn't attack you. And what scares me is, or it makes me concerned, is then those people in the protests, if they got it and stuff, they could spread it just as easily as anyone else, right? I mean, how is that stopping? How is that really putting a moratorium on this and getting us back into shape? I feel like we're just hitting certain groups of people. I think she's afraid. because she's afraid people are going to call her a racist if she goes in and really does what it needs to probably be done. Is just say everybody has to stop doing this for a month so we can get things straightened out, so we can get healthy and get everybody back to and get things in order. Because if it's really serious, it's serious for all of us, not just family gatherings in churches and whatever. You are so great. I love your views. I love how you bring things up. I listen. I listen to what's going on, and my brain, because I was a reporter for so long, when I smell hypocrisy, it smells like shit. And I can't sit there and take it. I'm not going to sit here and be quiet because somebody's going to, I will not allow people to take the conversation like the mask person and start hitting me with the mask when it has nothing to do with the mask. I never said anything about a mask. That's her. And that's what people like to do now, is we like to take things out of context so that we can push our point, and we're not listening. Sandy, if you were listening and heard from the beginning and it's all written in the top, you'd see exactly what we're talking about. We're not talking about the fucking mask. We don't. Portland metro area keeps going up, and we are having protests nightly. So they can tell me for a factual sure that none of those people are COVID carriers, and none of them have it. I don't think that, that doesn't make sense. That does not make sense to me. You know what I also heard today on the radio is Portland's, the city council, what they do, they cut the funding for the police shooting investigations, and shootings in Portland have gone up 300% since they did that. 5 homicides in Portland since July 1st. 5 homicides in Portland. Overall, this is reality. She has to think for herself and stop following other states. She just has to be consistent. I mean, that's what you do. Hi, Nicole. Real Christians can also worship over Zoom. Who needs a building? I haven't gone to church in 15 years. I still think I can follow God. I don't think I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ, but there's a difference for me. But I'm not, I don't need a building. I find him much more readily available in the woods. And sometimes in my bathroom when I'm sitting on the toilet. Sounds like government bodies shouldn't be gathering and everyone needing government employees to process their food stamps. Hey, Chris, my family of more than 20 is getting together and bringing our protest signs so we can get together. See, that's why people don't buy it. Because people are going, wait a minute, this is so inconsistent. You can't do that. And Chris, I'm not blaming you, but there's a lot of people who aren't going to listen because of that. I'm not going to church either, but boy, so believes they should have the right to be open, especially if protests can happen. I'm not going to get into that. The protest near my house was not socially distanced. Yes, some wore masks, but not distance. Okay, so see, and that's the whole thing is, everybody. So anybody who's on here trying to say that we're against protests, no, this is your head. You're just taking the conversation in your way. And Rick, I'm not saying that you're doing that. That's not the conversation. The conversation we're having, we're going to keep this on task, is if 10 or more people is dangerous to spread COVID to the people in our community, the elderly, the people that are the most susceptible, then how can you tell me that it's only certain groups of people over 10? I'm sorry. I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, but I'm smarter than that. When you get into the info, will you let us know? Yeah. Oh yeah, Paul. I gotta call in. I will definitely let you know. We don't hear about the homeless having outbreaks, and they gather, have no access to showers, hand washing, medical access. Oregon homeless population is mostly white. I don't know what the statistics are there. If they're any more susceptible. Hi, Karen. Yeah, caught you live. Good afternoon. Hello, David. My name is. Okay, sorry. You're telling me to shut the fuck up. Okay, I'll learn it when I want to tell you to shut the fuck up. I will. Great discussion is one that should be held. Agreed, Rick. Respect for both sides. Our church is still streaming live. Smart move on the church's part. Protests should not be allowed at this point. I'm saying if it's going to be 10 or more people in a group, then just limit it to That's it. It's going to only be under 10. Screamer. Okay, there was a study in 2015 that showed masks don't help from people getting sick, plus shows that long-term wearing can make lung issues. Okay, but this is not a mask issue. I shouldn't have read that. We're not talking about masks. What do you think of the new order requiring masks outdoors as well now? I don't care. I'll do it when I'm not walking to my car and putting on a mask. I'm in downtown Eugene, but I'm not passing many people. If I'm in line at Costco or something, I can see that. If this is the rule, I am a nonconformist, but you know what? It's not worth my hassle. And do I believe it? Not completely. But I also know that I live in this community. I'm a part of this community, and I will never stop questioning. I'm sorry. That is part of being in Eugene. Part of being an Oregonian, for God's sake, is not trusting the government. My great-grandparents came here because they were tired of the fuckers on the east side. They wanted to live their own life. And now I'm in a state where people are hashtag resist is gone, and now it's hashtag conform. That's not Oregon. I'm sorry. Don't trust authority, and now it's do whatever they tell you, and you're going to die if they don't. Oh, God. Gatherings of 10 or more, if they're going to apply it, then they need to crack down. They need to not only allow amount of people in a grocery store, they should apply to workplaces as well. That would be weird, Brandy, because I don't work. I mean, this is my workplace. It's me, and I go out and see a couple people at a time. But yeah, that'd be weird to be at Winco or something. You didn't say anything. No, you didn't say anything about masks. I know, Gloria, I didn't. But somebody wants to talk about masks, so they try to see what that feels like when people try to shove food down your throat. The peaceful BLM protesters are wearing masks. The Confederate flag wearers didn't have masks. I think it's, I don't think everybody's wearing masks, Sandy. It's easy to blame one side or the other. They all shouldn't be out there. It's 10 or more, 10 or fewer. The problem is the data collection is haphazard, and there isn't enough consistency in the testing, contact tracing to know what is going on. I agree, Allie. It's just, but they have to know how many of these people are getting sick. I know that because I go to the massage therapist and they ask me if I'm feeling sick. So if you have somebody coming in and they're getting a test, I haven't had that. I haven't had the test, but why the hell aren't you asking that question? I think that's a pretty damn important question. God, I can't see because I got this thing on. Doesn't spread in a protest, but spreads in a church and homes. The virus must be resistant to hate. Oh, Jennifer, just stir the shit, why don't you? Protesting is a protected right. You breathe on someone is not. But if we have a pandemic, Nicole, and people are truly in danger, then I have the same right. Now, I disagree with you. Protesting is a protected right, but actually, shouldn't my right to live in freedom be I know freedom's like a really bad word right now for some people. I disagree. If we have a governor who's saying, I feel like we are in danger as a state if people gather in groups of 10 or more, then that means 10 or more. So then I lose my right to gather in groups of 10 or more. So why doesn't a protester? Does that make sense? I mean, take it away from the civil rights thing, take it away from the meaning of the protest. We probably agree a lot on that. I'm talking about, we have been ordered as a people in Oregon, if we care about others and we care about the people around us, that's my train, then we are to not gather in 10 or more. So I lose my right to do what I want to do in a group of 10 or more, but so does a protest, because it's still about endangering other people. She didn't say we could get together in groups of 10 or more, even if we have masks on. It was, don't gather in groups of 10 or more. Now, that's just the fact. But you have to take the protesting out. I believe, protesting is a right. But so is my right to gather in more than 10 people. That's my right. And my right was taken away, and all that, because the governor feels, this doesn't mean I agree, but the governor feels that that is detrimental to the spread of this disease, this virus. Would you actually pay attention to what Rick says? No, it's okay, Melinda. I'm used to it. I ran for public office. I understand. They can't focus on one group of people, yes, but they should only allow so many inside stores, and social distancing needs to be enforced if they want to take it seriously. That's another thing that is kind of funny. Hold on. God, sometimes on this thing, you guys don't do this all the time. You flip and it just like takes off, and I'm down like hundreds of comments. And Dave, I'll put this up there. Protests are allowed because of white guilt. And I'm not laughing at you. You and I agree. Yeah, it is. And so, oh, Dave, that's great. That is great. It is. It's true, though. And that's something people don't want to talk about. Oh, my God, Dave, you just brought up a can of worms. That's what's going on. People have white guilt, so they're giving. Oh my gosh. You made my day. Everyone likes to put their spin on it. Oh yeah, you know that. Oh my God. That's all you have to say? Oh my God. 600% in New York City. I don't know what that means, but okay. I know I didn't mention a mask. I know. It doesn't make any sense. I went to a restaurant the other day and didn't wear a mask. A server explained the letter from the governor, and the business explained. On the other hand, the governor says the protesters are safe because they're moving. So if I go to a drive-in, is that better? I don't feel guilty for being white, since I'm a Armenian and Indian, as well as Irish and Scottish. Nope, no guilt. Just confusion, Diana or Diane. I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Hi, Lindsay. For a population over 1 million between the 3 countries, that's a low percentage. Here we go. Nicole, here you can read this 60-page paper on how protests have not increased COVID. But it doesn't, Nicole, it doesn't matter. It's still, as a culture and a state, we're being asked to limit our gatherings over 10. So you can give me all the studies in the world, and it's still, we need consistency, because we don't really know. We don't know how this thing is spreading. Honey, I'm on the toilet listening to you. Oh shit. Nicole, quit being a right fighter. Oh, let Nicole alone. She can do what she wants to do. That's fine. The reason the 10 limit is for tracing. Oh, okay. So 100 people it has nothing to do with it. Leaders are afraid to say no to people of color. Mic drop. And Dave is a person of color. So he can get it. So Dave, you can say that. I would never say that. Yeah, you are 100. I agree with you. And then is that putting them at risk? So, and also, Dave, I don't know, Dave, if I can do this. Help me if I stick my foot in my mouth again. But so aren't the people of colored communities more at risk for getting this COVID? That's what I've read. And so then by white people being afraid to say no to people of color, or having them live up to the same standards, which I know all the protesters are not people of color, but then you're putting the very people who are at most risk even at more risk. Is that fair? That's what it seems like to me. Just blame it on the Russians. Oh God, thanks. Nicole, please leave the, you are not an expert. Nicole, it's okay, Ginger. Nicole deserves to be here like everybody else. She's bringing up points. I think everybody should be part of the conversation, unless they get rude. And then, like I was today. For me, it's crazy. It is crazy. There are so many inconsistencies in all this. Fear and control. I have to agree, Kim, if I'm going to be really honest. I think this is about fear and control. And, really. And the problem for me is I'm not afraid. I'm really not. and I will not be controlled. I will adjust my behavior for the good of, for the perceived good of culture, but you will not control me. And I don't think anyone who is an Oregonian is going to allow anyone to control. I remember when you did, I mean, that's when I moved to this town. Oh my God, it was like Hippieville. And, you know, that I did a series when I was a news guy on homeschooling. And I thought it was going to be a bunch of Christians, you know, because that's what my assumption always was. And Eugene, it was not. It was mostly a bunch of hippies who didn't trust the school system and said, I want my kids to learn how to eat and culture this kind of food and blah, blah, blah. That's what I found. It was mostly hippie people, which was awesome. But it totally blew away my theory. But that's what people used to come here and live here because they didn't want to conform. And now we're like we're striving to fit in. Well, that's where I've never done very well, because I've never fit in. When I used to smoke pot, when I stopped, everybody else started smoking pot. I never did anything at the time it was cool. They have been sharing food, hugging, no mask. Well said, being human, totally agree. Question everything, exactly. Just give them fines and let them die. I don't know what that means, Dave. No one said hashtag conform. I did. I made that up. That's mine. I said there's no longer a hashtag resist. Now there's hashtag conform. So someone did say it. I said it. We said, please give a crap about someone other than yourself. And we do. I care about anybody. What about the people that those protesters could be infecting with COVID, just like my gathering of 10 or more? See, Nicole, you can't take the conversation that way because you're just wrong. We do give a crap about other people, but I give a crap about all other people. And that means protesters that may be putting themselves at risk, which is what you're telling me. I'm putting other people at risk if I'm gathering in 10 or more. Well, they're gathering hundreds and thousands at a time. So they're doing the same thing. So are you saying they don't give a crap about someone other than themselves? Because I'm following the rule. They're not. And the governor is making an inconsistent rule. So she only cares. But like Dave said, I think she's just afraid to confront it. And when you're a leader, you cannot be afraid. If we truly have a pandemic and a health issue here, she needs to make the standard the same for all people so that we're all protected. Because that little old lady who's going to die in the nursing home from COVID could get it just as easily from some of the protesters as they can from someone else. And remember, I keep hearing we're all in this together. Well, we're not all in this together. And when you make separate rules for us and them, we're not all in this together. And I'm concerned about the protesters getting the virus as well, because you're putting yourself into a dangerous situation, according to my governor. The weird thing about the pressers yesterday was that there was so much, if you can, we'd like to do. I wish we had a concrete rule to stick by. The back and forth makes it's wishy-washy. It really is. Whatever happened to trusting the government? My number one rule, and still my number one rule. Not trusting the government. The new order requiring masks outside is only if you cannot maintain a 6 foot, right, with other people, not while you are mowing your lawn, checking your mail, walking your dog. Right. I mean, I think it's pretty lenient. I mean, it's if you're in a group or if I'm standing in line at Costco, that's the one that scares me sometimes. I mean, it's pretty close. A lot of people. They do know. They do know? No? I think that's the wrong no, but were all these protesters wearing masks when they were organizing? Freedom. Dave, you're kind of hot today. You're getting some good ones in here. Hashtag freedom. My husband donated blood here in Arizona and will hear in a week if so that he has any antibodies. We were sick in February and also took the baby to the hospital. I had the antibody test and I didn't have it. Freedom is a bad word because some people are more free than others. Freedom's not a bad word. I don't think freedom's a bad word, but everybody should have it. And that's That's the part of what Black Lives is fighting for that I 100% agree with. But that's not just Black people. That's also gay, lesbian, everybody should be free. And I get that part, Nicole. But right now, we've all lost our freedom to gather in groups over 10, or none of us have. Because freedom, that's culturally being restricted for all of us. And that's the whole point of what I'm talking about here. What happened to let's slow hospitalizations down? We have 4 hospitals cases. Yeah, I know. Makes perfect sense to a lot of people. I should add, I don't think it's just the protesters spreading it, but you can't blame Memorial Day, Father's Day, and numbers jumping. If you hold people, if you put people away at home, lock them at home for 2 months, and the virus is still there, everything I've read, 60 to 70% of us are going to probably get this virus before it's over with. And so if you put that out there and then you hold everybody back and then all of a sudden everybody's back out, what do you expect? Of course it's going to go up. I mean, that seems pretty natural to me, because now all of a sudden we're out and about and the virus didn't take a break. It's not on a summer holiday. So, but how many people are really getting sick? And I heard a report this morning that between the ages of 16 and 35 in the United States, 900 people have died in that age group from the COVID virus. But 37,000 died in 2016 in that age group in car accidents. So why aren't we afraid to drive a car? You literally can't take it away from the civil rights thing. Well, then it's my civil right to gather with 10 or more wherever I want to as well. That's what I'm saying, Nicole. You take away the rights of people, and that's why people aren't, Nicole, that's why people aren't listening. That's why they're doing what they want to do anyway. And the governor's putting out this message that's just air. It's like it's just gas. Because if you're gonna try to restrict people of 10 or more, then you have to put, that's a right we all have. It's a freedom we all have to gather. And so if you're gonna give it to one group of people, then you have to give it to all people. If you're gonna take it away from one, you have to take it away from all. That's the whole point, Nicole. This isn't about civil rights. This is about all of our rights. And if we have a pandemic, but you're not listening to me, you're just going on with what you want to do. If it's 10 or more, then it's 10 or more. Exactly. The COVID has a thing to help us with civil rights. It's a virus. It's nothing. Oh God, you guys are just like crazy on here. I cannot even believe all those comments. I can't. Here's Josh. Black people and other ethnic minority groups are at higher risk of both contracting the virus and experience worse outcomes. Yeah, and so we put them at greater risk. And that's, like Dave said, that's white guilt. And Dave is a person of color. So I'm quoting him so that I can get away with it. Oh my God. I'm sitting here trying to see what else is on here. Here's your support team. Brandy says, go Dave. I just love your comments. He is funny today. He's really funny today. Dave, I'm sorry I said something earlier to you that was rude. I was just get tired sometimes of, anyway. For now, at least, Josephine. Hold on. Hold on, I'm trying to go in here. Wow. I never get to read these. You guys get to read all these things, and I don't get it. Who is replay spammer? You got a lot of big noob. I think you might be spam. You're awesome. Thank you for putting your voice out there. Hey, you know what, guys? That's the one thing. I think we can't We can't be silent. Thank you so much for speaking common sense about this, Rick. The inconsistency of enforcing one, but drives me bonkers. It drives me crazy. It drives me just nuts. I am hypocrisy and inconsistencies bug the crap out of me. And this is just littered with it. And then what's so sad is that if it is this serious, and I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, the governor, that she thinks it's this serious, and I'm okay with that. But then you have to be consistent, Governor Brown, if you want people to pay attention to you. And you can't take away the rights of everybody but certain groups of people because you're afraid. I mean, come on. If you're here to protect the citizens of Oregon, and you know it's really, really hard, then you need to make it really, really hard for all of us so that we can get past this damn thing. If the governor wants to stop the travel of people, they'd close the gas stations, or at least try to, not press releasing one ridiculous mandate after another. Don't give her ideas, Ashley. Nicole Garcia, me breathing oxygen is, I'm not sure what that means, but Rick, I really do appreciate your ability to encourage and have such a diverse conversation with people. Be that Dave, Nicole, or me. You know what? I was a little mean to Dave earlier. I am growing. I normally like to be very open to people's conversations, but I'm so tired of people not, and Dave was really good today. But sometimes people like to goat you, and I react. I'm human. I am far less than a perfect human being. But you know what? I honestly do believe with everything in my body that this is the way to fight this. It's all of us get involved. All of us keep talking, asking questions, stay on target, stay on topic, quit throwing out. The mask is just so done for me. It's just, it's not about a mask issue. It's about a consistency issue. And my question would be to you, if the governor tries to shut down businesses again, what will you do? Because I think you better think about it. I think this could be a really telling time in Oregon right now. Because I don't know that most of the people I know will survive it in terms of businesses, and she hasn't set a foundation with this whole thing, like the inconsistencies, to build trust among people. And I think if that comes to that, you're going to see a massive problem. And I pray to God it doesn't come to that. I hope that everybody abides by what she's saying to do. Everybody, the protesters included, and stop gathering in over 10 people and wear your mask like she said. Let's see if it works. Because if the next step happens, you'll see protests. You're going to see all kinds of protests for all kinds of rights. And freedom and that kind of stuff. I really think you will. I'm not calling that. I'm just saying, I think you will. Hold on, Nicole, you got me. Now I really like talking to you. What if the questions you are asking were things like, how can I help my community? Or how can I be of service during this difficult time? Nicole, you don't even know me. I do that all the time. That's my job. That's what I do out here. You can ask those questions. I do help my community. I'm out doing all kinds of stuff. So don't try to pick on me because I'm asking hard questions. What, you don't want me asking hard questions? Huh? Tough shit. I'm going to ask hard questions. I was a journalist for 25 years. And if we had some journalists now, they'd be asking hard questions. They'd be asking the same questions I'm asking. But don't try to put me off by saying, how are you helping the community? I'm helping the community. Young lady, and don't even go there. I have a reputation that stands way longer than you even have existed of helping this community. And part of what I do by helping the community is ask the difficult questions too. That's what I do. You go do what you do, and I'll do what I do. But don't question what I do and how I do it, because that's none of your business. You don't know me. You just know of me or whatever, what you've heard, what you hate, whatever. But I'm in the business of asking the questions that nobody else asks. And then if you ever watch the things that I do, I promote rural Oregon. A lot of my clients, this week I'm having Kids First. If you don't know what that is, you might go look it up. They're going to be on one of my shows. Who else am I helping this week? I have Relay for Life next week because they can't have a Relay for Life because they can't gather in groups of more than 10. So I'm having 2 shows with them because I have clients that will pay for those and we do shows on them. So that's what we do. And I think this is also serving the community during this difficult time. So you go figure out how you're going to serve the community and how you're going to help the community. And maybe that is encouraging protesters not to endanger the lives of other people either. And maybe that's doing that. Maybe that's what you can take on, since that's something you seem to be well versed at. But do not question my motives. I didn't question yours. You don't get to question mine. If you want to get out the measuring stick and talk about who's done things in their community, I would be more than happy to do that with you. And I'm not saying that I'm such a great guy. I'm a piece of shit just like anybody else. But I've done my share of stuff, and I will always do that. And most of the people on here are probably smiling right now because they know that as well. I am not afraid to ask questions. Pacific City, miss you and your positiveness. He's always taking care of the community. Yeah. It was really, really funny one time. Yeah, here, Nicole, you must be new to our page. I remember, I'll just leave you with this story that I'm working on some stuff today. I remember one time a guy came on my page and starts going, I hate Rick Dancer. He's anti-Black. He's anti-gay. He's anti-people with disabilities. He's anti-homosexual. And it goes on and on and on. And all of a sudden, one of my gay friends comes on and says, hey, I'm gay. Rick's always really cool to me. And somebody comes on, didn't Rick come up with that Look Me in the Eye campaign for people with different abilities? And then somebody else came on, and all of a sudden we were at the end, I just went on, I'm not going to say anymore. It was like all these people in those communities actually backed me up because I got my issues, I got my problems, and I am a white guy who thinks like a white guy because that's what I am. But I also have a lot of people around me who teach me what they think and what they're doing as well. But if Nicole, I didn't mean to get all over your face, but when you come down on me for that, bullshit. There's a lot of things you can find about me that are fucked up. But don't go after my community involvement. I'll bring out my gloves anytime on that one. You're down on that one. I love watching you since you were on the news. Even better now that you speak your mind, not conform. I will never conform. There she is. Here's Nicole. Have on you. I know who you have on your shows. It's just easier to think of me as new and not knowing what is going on rather than to look at what you're doing. So you are aware of what we do. Good. Okay, then that's awesome. But so are you insinuating to think of me as new? No, I thought you were new. I'm not. You seem new, and not knowing what is going on, rather than look at what you are doing. So you disagree with what I'm doing by asking these questions because you don't agree with it. See, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry if that's what you're saying, and maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but that's bullshit. I mean, come on. What? Because we think differently and you think I'm causing a problem? You're such an anti-Rick. I have those too. That doesn't make any sense. I have sat in that office, Rick. In my office, your picture doesn't look familiar. So that's great. So you do know me. But are you saying, and what I'm trying to ask you is, are you saying that me asking these questions is not serving the community? Because I would totally disagree with you. And I don't mean to put words in your mouth if that's your own, but that was I didn't quite understand maybe what you were saying. But that's kind of what I took out of it. Um, anyway, she's not crazy. Guys, don't do that. She just has a different idea of what's going on here. That's completely fair. And if we listen, we could actually learn, which is why I keep asking her questions and I pull her up, because I can actually learn something here. Fake case numbers, they are also counting every positive test. I know, Susan, I've seen that too. Rick equals highly skilled plus unafraid, love it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have my fears, but it's not this. Yeah, we don't need, we could have a whole show on that. You know what it is? I think you lose your fear. I fought cancer. I ran for public office for 9 months. You just kind of lose some of that stuff. Oh, here's Nicole again. I am saying that the data exists and you could present it in a coherent way to find a disease expert. I can point you to two to help you with this, or you can just question. I'm going to question because I think a lot of people out there are asking the same questions. And I have contacted the county health department to find out about that number. But Nicole, I don't need any data or a disease expert to talk to me about equal treatment of people under the mandate of Kate Brown. If you're going to mandate no groups over 10, then that's no groups over 10. I don't need an expert to tell me because they don't know where this is coming from. And what I need is consistency. And what she needs is consistency if she wants people to listen to her. And what Oregon needs, if we really see this as a dangerous pandemic, that what we need to protect people is consistency and everybody abiding by the same mandate. Otherwise, what do you get? A clusterfuck. And that's what this has turned into. And so nobody's paying attention. And so don't bring me another science, another expert. It's not about that. It's about humans. It's about people. It's about how you raise people. It's about how you treat people. And so if you make a requirement, it has to be based on everyone. That's what it is. That's what it is. And you're stuck on this science. But it's shown how many people are going to answer those questions. You know what I mean? 10 or more should apply to everyone. Exactly, Paul. That's what I'm saying. And that's what it is. Then that is an option. It is not fact, which is okay, but say that. Opinion. I don't have to say anything. Everything on here. My opinion is, I didn't say that, my opinion is that she is inconsistent because she is. And if you're going to require 10 or more, it's 10 or more. Protesters, families, churches, all that. And I don't have to sit here and list, this is my opinion. And besides, a lot of experts are just as cracked up as me. You hear my voice. I ask questions to feel this. Let's get Kate on the show. Oh yeah, like she's gonna come that. She didn't even like running against me. She told me that one time. She goes, I hate doing this with you. You know what you're doing. And she said, I don't care about her resigning. I just want her to act like a leader and make some requirements of everyone. That's what she needs to do. So Nicole, I feel like you're not crazy. I don't even give a shit if you're an engineer or a BS in science. I teach robotics to kids in Lane County. That's great. But I would not, that doesn't mean you're what your standard. You have value, Nicole, because you're here. I'm not painting you as crazy. Some people on here are painting you as crazy. I'm not. If you're taking it that way, that's you taking it that way. I don't think you're crazy, but I don't give a shit if you're an engineer or a BS in science or whatever. I care that you're involved in the conversation and you have passion for what you do. I'm just asking you to listen and say, can we get down to one issue about consistency? That's all I'm saying. Okay, you guys, I got to go do some work. This has been really, Nicole, thank you for putting up with all of us. Where's Joshua Kendall? Josh Kendall, it's because of their higher inflammation-related health issues. Okay, because you guys are having another conversation. I haven't seen it. Can you run for governor? Rebecca, absolutely never. No. I want to be a productive member of the community, not an ass kiss. There we go. See, Jeannie, I think the governor is correct. However, it should apply to all, not just parties. That's right. That's when we're starting to think. She can't say no to the protesters because she was unable to say not to the churches. So if the churches weren't using powerful lobbyists to override her, she could have an opinion on the protest. And I disagree. I think Dave's right. I think she's afraid because she's white. I think he's right. He's a person of color, and I trust him. I think that's what it is. And it's politically incorrect to not allow that civil rights protests. So she's got her hands tied. I would agree with you on that. I don't think the churches have very powerful lobbyists. That's just me. I don't think they have much power in this state at all. I told you to stop. Oh, you guys are just really into this. Okay. Oh, thanks, Vicky. Dance with the new Trump. I don't want to be a Trump. There's some things he's done that I'm happy about, and there's some things he's done that I think he's crazy, but I am like a libertarian, I think. I'm a non-affiliated voter. I don't fit in. I'm a nonconformist. Sounds like a sound argument of why this is all happening for sure. All right, you guys, share this on your page if you want to, do whatever. Oh, you guys, just so you know, we're starting our PNW Backstories getaway package. You can't use it right away because obviously with the travel ban and stuff, but we're still trying to keep people's hope up and show them some different things. So this week we're at the Faith, Hope, and Charity Vineyards over by Redmond, and you could win a trip there. So if you go over to my Explore the PNW Backstories page, or any of my pages, this is on there. And you can go, you need to sign up. You go to my email, pnwbackstories.com. There's a sign up sheet on there, and you can just link right to it. But get signed up because somebody's going to win a trip for 2 over there. And then I got another one coming up to Redmond to a really cool hotel at the end of the month. So that's what we do. All right. Hey, thanks. I got a haircut tonight. I'm excited. Haircut days are awesome. You just feel fresh. Oh, are we still on a travel ban? Kinda. Yeah, we're not encouraging people to travel on this thing yet. We're just kind of doing it, and then keeping people's hope up that this will change. All right, have a good day, you guys. Thanks for talking. All right, and thanks for your ideas. And Nicole, thank you for putting up with all of us. And Dave, sorry again. I didn't mean to be an asshole. I'm just good at it. Sometimes I act human. Damn me.